The British Grand Prix in 1950 was the first ever Formula One World Championship event, and it's been on the calendar every single year since then. It's been hosted primarily at Silverstone, which has hosted every British Grand Prix since 1987. But it's also taken place at Aintree and also Brands Hatch too. But which drivers have won the most Grand Prix around Silverstone, Brands Hatch and Aintree over the decades, over these previous 75 years in Formula One? Well, good job you asked that. You've come to the right place. These are the most successful drivers in the history of the British Grand Prix. So we don't quite have a top 5. We do have 4 drivers who have won 4 or more British Grand Prix. But we've also got 3 who have won 3. So we'll quickly go through those 3 first of all. And the most recent of those 3 is Michael Schumacher. Schumacher won all 3 of his British Grand Prix driving for Ferrari. He controversially won in the pits in 1998. That is without a doubt something I'm going to cover in more depth, going over the best moments at the British Grand Prix in Formula One. But we'll just leave that for now. Torrential rain conditions, the Regenmeister absolutely dominating during that race, but controversially winning, like I said. He also won in 2002 and 2004 on his way to his 5th and 7th World Championship in those respective years. Next up, we've got Niki Lauda, who managed to win at Brands Hatch in 1976, controversially after the disqualification of home hero James Hunt. And he also won after his comeback to Formula One in 1982 and 1984 for McLaren, of course in 84 on the way to his 3rd and final World Championship. And the last one on this list is Sir Jack Brabham, who won here in 1959 and 1960, and he also won in 1966. 66, of course, being the year when he won his final World Championship in a car bearing his own name, something that we will never see again in Formula One. I have absolutely no doubt about that. But yeah, who are the top 4? The guys who have won 4 or more British Grand Prix. Well, only one guy has won it 4 times, and it's one of the home heroes, our Nige. Nigel Mansell managed to win here back-to-back in 1986 and 1987, and he also won back-to-back again in 1991 and 1992. Mansell Mania was absolutely out in force at the British Grand Prix in the 1980s and 1990s. All 4 of those victories coming for British team Williams, of course, as well. 87 being the most famous of those 4, no doubt, because of the incredible dummy move that he pulled on his teammate Nelson Piquet down the hanger straight. But let's get into the top 3 now. 2 guys on this list have won 5 times, and the more recent of these is Alain Prost. Prost won here in 1983 driving for Renault, and he also won in 1985 and 1989 driving for McLaren. He also won in 1990 for Ferrari and 1993 for Williams. So you've got 5 victories with 4 different teams, which has got to be some kind of record. It's definitely the record for the British Grand Prix. It might well be the record in Formula One on the whole. Prost was very quick around Silverstone, and the fact he managed to win here 5 times is something that's incredible, which made him at the time the joint most winningest driver at the British Grand Prix, tied with another home hero, Jim Clark. Clark was unbelievable around the British Grand Prix. He dominated his home race, not only at Silverstone, but also at Aintree as well, back in the days when it used to be held at that circuit as well. He won 4 times on the bounce between 1962 and 1965, and also in 67 as well. 5 times in 6 years, all winning for Lotus, his only team in Formula One. Clark was incredible around this Grand Prix, as he was around most of the Grand Prix he entered in, and I'm no doubt that if he lived, he would have won more of those. But would Clark have got as many wins as Sir Lewis Hamilton around the British Grand Prix? I'm not so sure, because Hamilton has won the British Grand Prix 9 times. It is a record around any circuit in Formula One. Nobody has won more than 8 Grand Prix at any circuit in the history of Formula One. Hamilton is the only guy to manage that, and he did it round his home race. I would still argue that his victory in 2008 is probably his most impressive win in Formula One, or at least his best around the British Grand Prix, with the possible exception of what he managed to do last year, of course. He won in torrential conditions in 2008, winning by, I think, like nearly a minute. He almost lapped the entire field. He was absolutely in a class of his own that day. But it took all the way until 2014 for him to win another with Mercedes. But at Mercedes, the guy was absolutely unstoppable. He won 4 times in a row between 2014 and 2017, and then won 3 times in a row between 2019 and 2021. If you do the maths, he managed to win 7 times in 8 Grand Prix. The only time he didn't win in that run is 2018 when I think he got took out at the start or something like that, but of course still managed to get a podium in that race anyway. But I think his personal favourite win, with the possible exception of 2008, was 2024 last year, winning after more than 2 years. He always won a Grand Prix every single season, Hamilton, and then he didn't win in 22, he didn't win in 23. People were asking questions whether he was still good enough, whether he was still able to win a Grand Prix, and he asked himself those questions as well, and the answer to all of it was absolutely resoundingly yes, he can still win a Grand Prix, and he did it in fantastic style as well, and he won the Belgian Grand Prix not too long after that as well. Hamilton is a master around Silverstone, and even after the day when he eventually retires, he will still be a part of the British Grand Prix, because of course the Hamilton Straight is named after him these days as well. So that's how you know you're a legend, when you're getting a bit of the track named after you while you're still racing around it. Can he get a 10th win this weekend at the British Grand Prix for Ferrari? Given their form this season, that is going to be very difficult, but would you have honestly said coming into the Grand Prix at Silverstone last year that Hamilton was going to win it? I didn't think he had a chance, to be honest, but there he was, top step of the podium. Form is temporary, class is permanent, and nobody is as good around Silverstone than Sir Lewis Hamilton. All 9 of those victories coming at Silverstone. We'll have to see what happens, guys. It's sure to be entertaining. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more like this, guys. And who is your pick for the British Grand Prix this weekend? Personally, for me, like I've said in my other preview videos, it's going to be Oscar Piastri. But I would love to see a British winner. And if I had to pick one that I'd love to see, it's got to be Hamilton. 10 wins around one track. Let's see if it can happen, guys.